Guys, so I was listening to Kanye West's new album, Ye, or Yeah, or Yay, and I was shocked because I didn't really know much of what to think about Kanye. I haven't really listened to his music a ton before, but as I was listening to what he had to say, I kept hearing these like really deep sentiments and statements that just kept like waking me up, and I kept being like, whoa, Kanye really has something to say. Like, there seemed to be some level of depth and thought, and from everything that I've heard about him, he sounds pretentious and rude and inconsiderate and egotistical, and I'm sure he's all of those things too, but he's deep too, and there's some really interesting stuff on his album, guys. And so today what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go through the 7 songs, and we're gonna look at the deepest lines on this album. Hey guys, welcome to the Pop Song Professor YouTube channel where we make English class awesome by explaining and sometimes roasting song lyrics. Today we're talking about Kanye West's new album. Keep in mind, he's been in the news a lot for, you know, some interesting things and some really weird things to say. It's a mixed bag with Kanye, but as we're looking through this album, we're looking for 2 types of things: philosophical ideas and confessional, serious, honest ideas. Confessional writing as a literary form is basically when somebody confesses things that they've done that they're not super proud of. So we're looking for that. That's usually a good sign of deepness, philosophicalness, or deep sincerity, like revealing who you are as a person to somebody else is another thing we're looking for. So the fact that it's spoken word is obviously already a good sign. A lot of times spoken word has something really interesting to say. The most beautiful thoughts are always besides the darkest. Today I seriously thought about killing you. Dang, okay, confessional and philosophical with that first line. I contemplated premeditated murder and I think about killing myself, and I love myself way more than I love you. That's sincere. Okay, so we've already found all 3 things already in the first like few lines. You would only care enough to kill somebody you love. The most beautiful thoughts are always inside the darkest. Kanye West is like brave enough, honestly, to be able to go and talk about something like that. And so people who are also brave enough to confront that in themselves, they know that he empathizes with them. That's really interesting. Just say it out loud to see how it feels. People say, don't say this, don't say that. Just say it out loud just to see how it feels. Weigh all the options, nothing's off the table. Wow, yeah, serious stuff. I think this is the part where I'm supposed to say something good to compensate it so it doesn't come off bad. Self-awareness, sincerity, talking about like the social aspect. He's cognizant of the effect of what he said. But sometimes I think really bad things. Really, that's 3 reallys. Bad things, and I love myself way more than I love you. See, if I was trying to relate it to more people, I'd probably say I'm struggling with loving myself because that seems like a common theme, but that's not the case here. I love myself way more than I love you, and I think about killing myself, so best believe I thought about killing you today. Premeditated murder. Oh my gosh, guys. He's like calling out like a lot of artists because I'm struggling with loving myself. Yeah, where have you heard that one before? Like all over the place. It's like the end of every Hallmark movie. And here Kanye West is like, screw that. No, like I'm like a dark person. I don't joke with no one. They'll say he died so young. I done had a bad case of too many bad days, got too many bad traits. I don't do shit halfway. That's really good too, because he's kind of like talking about like if he were to die, like to commit suicide or something were to happen to him, like he's talking about how people would think of him. Okay guys, so first song, I thought about killing you. It's probably on a scale of 1 to 5, like 5 out of 5 for deep right now. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Shit could get menacing, frightening, find help. Sometimes I scare myself. That's, you know, could mean that there's something interesting or deep coming out. Russell Simmons wanna pray for me too. I'ma pray for him because he got me too'd. That is at least controversial. Like that, he's making a statement about something. It's not just fluffy pop nonsense. To kind of talk negatively about the Me Too movement is definitely not in vogue right now. And Kanye West is willing to say whatever comes into his head. We've seen that on Twitter for sure. I think Prince and Mike was trying to warn me. Prince and Michael Jackson. They think I got demons all on me. Devil been trying to make an army. They've been strategizing to harm me. All right, so he's talking about supernatural forces trying to, I guess, beat him up. Maybe Kanye thinks he's an angel. Oh, interesting. And now he's like talking about Ye as like an alter ego. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I F with Ye. See, that's my 3rd person. That's my bipolar shit. Maybe we'll learn more about who this Ye is as we go through the album. I would give Yikes maybe 3 out of 5 for deepness, just because a lot of the rest of it was kind of just like braggadocious. Then we jump into All Mine. Well, so far the guest verse by Ty Dolla $ign and the chorus by Jeremiah the least deep things on this album so far. Not a lot, honestly, in Kanye's verse either, though, but he says, time is extremely valuable, and I prefer to waste it on girls. That's basic. That's just some Ye shit. So we're kind of learning more about this other personality. Then we get into verse 3. Yep, just finished reading it. Not a lot there, honestly. So I would give this one probably a 2. There's like some stuff and there's some political references, but it lacks the depth of the first 2 songs. We get into Wouldn't Leave with Party Next Door. He's talking about current events. He says, they say build your own. I said how sway. I said slavery a choice. They said how yay. Just imagine if they caught me on a wild day. I know I'm on 50 blogs getting 50 calls. My wife calling, screaming, say we about to lose it all. Had to calm her down because she couldn't breathe. Told her she could leave me now, but she wouldn't leave. So that's him getting personal, talking about a situation with his wife where he did say that slavery was a choice on Twitter or something. And so a lot of people got really mad at him, and you know, probably right to think that that could have disastrous results for one's career, but it's Kanye we're talking about. He's kind of got resiliency to that sort of thing built into who he is. So this song is apparently partially about him and his wife. It's kind of like the you he's talking to is his wife. We hear lines like, I got the mind state to take us past the stratosphere. I use the same attitude that done got us here. I live for now, I don't know what happened after here. Plus what was meant to be was meant to be. Even if publicly I lack the empathy, I ain't finna talk about it. Another 4 centuries. And so he's kind of saying, you know, it was gonna happen somehow. You know, I said this thing, and whether I said it privately or publicly, it doesn't really matter because I said it. And he does talk about taking him and his wife past the stratosphere, so that is a little bit of brag rapping, but it's not quite so like braggadocious as normal rap is. And now he gives some questionable advice in the outro. He says, for any guy that ever effed up, ever embarrassed their girl or their wife, she told you not to do that shit, but you ain't want to listen, did you? Keep that same energy. Now you testing her loyalty. This is what they mean when they say for better or for worse. I mean, on one hand, yes, stay true to yourself, but maybe you need to talk about dumb mistakes together. Maybe make those dumb mistakes together rather than just one person making them and the other person having to be worried about them the whole time. I would give this one a 4. Then we get into No Mistakes. Oh my gosh, this one sounds like a racially charged diss rap, because at the end he says, calm down, you light skin. Had debt in my books, it's been a shaky ass year. Let me make this clear so all y'all see, I don't take advice from people less successful than me. This is a brag rap in only the way that Kanye can brag rap. I wouldn't say it's necessarily deep, but it's him being sincere, you know? Like, it's him being himself. And wow, like, I don't know what to make of it. Most brag raps I feel like I can just laugh off. I would still kind of give it a 3, honestly, because it is him being sincere to himself, but not in like a shallow way necessarily. Like, this feels like this is who he is to the core. He's not bragging about drugs and models and cars in this one. And the next song is Ghost Town featuring Party Next Door and Shirley Ann Lee and Kid Cudi. So honestly, as far as the part that Kanye raps in this one, there's not too much. It's more just like, one day I'm gonna be even more awesome than I am now, and it's less intense and visceral than the last one. Someday the drama will be gone, they gonna have to rope me off, and they'll pray it's not enough. Sometimes I take all the shine, talk like I drank all the wine. You know, I would give this one, I would give Ghost Town a 2. There's really not a ton to grab on here as far as just Kanye's part goes. And then we come to the final song, Violent Crimes, which if you guys remember the first song that we heard, you know, I think about killing you sometimes. I'm curious to see where Violent Crimes takes us. And guys, I have to say with Violent Crimes, I think we've kind of struck gold here. This is really interesting. It's Kanye talking about his daughter, and he's basically saying, and I'm gonna take the N-word and I'm just gonna say men. He's saying that men are savage monsters, pimps, players until they have daughters. Now they precautious. He's saying that something changes in a man when he goes from just being, you know, crazy and wild, and now he's got a daughter, somebody small that he has to protect. And Kanye basically raps through what he thinks will be like the life of his daughter. He wants her to not do yoga or Pilates and to play piano and stick to karate. He says that men are nuts, and I am a man. I know what they want. He says, curves under your dress, I know it's pervs all on the net, all in the comments you want to vomit. And he starts like talking to himself, that's your baby, you love her to death, now she cut in class and hanging with friends. So she's like growing up, she's going through high school, and then she like moves in with her boyfriend, and he's hurting her, and he knows, like he says, if you whoop her ass, she move in with him. I swear that these times is the wildest. She got the scars, they serve as reminders, blood still on her pajamas, but yesterday is dead, yeah, moment of silence. Next she'll be off to college and then at the altar because she know that men are savage, monsters, pimps, players till they have daughters. Oh my gosh, that's really really interesting. So he's basically doing what Eminem has done so many times and Jay-Z was doing on 444, and he's writing a rap about his daughter. Like, it has almost become a cliche at this point to rap about your daughter if you're a famous rap star. But gosh, I think I'd give that 5 out of 5 for deepness. That was really awesome. There's some really good lines in there, and a lot of these songs, guys, are really worth listening to. For those of you who are interested in things like numbers, all the ratings of all the songs I gave added up to like 24, which divided by 7 is 3.43. So this album had an average depth of 3.43, at least the Kanye West rapped parts, which is really good, honestly. So the Ye album does not disappoint. Really interesting to me. I'm curious to hear what, to listen to more of Kanye in the future and to listen to more of his past stuff. Tell me, what did you think about the album? Did you think it was particularly deep, or were you unimpressed during our run through? Anyway, talk to you guys next time. Don't forget to check out these videos right here, and thanks for watching.